going on, guys? Jimmy here with J Kaiser Custom MX. Today is a good day because I finally have finished Brian Deegan's 1997 RM125. Now, I've had it on display at Supercross in Daytona and Nashville so far, but I still had a few things to finish up on it just to get it just exactly right before I gave it to Brian for him to ride and do what he wants to do with it. One of the things that I typically do when I finish a bike is do a walk around video. One of the probably the most common comments is that I don't start it during that walk around video. Well, today I'll do that differently. So let's go ahead and start the bike now. Now listen, this is probably only maybe the third time, fourth time that I started the bike. So it has been started already. The problem is I found a little issue with the clutch that I just didn't like. So I killed it, pulled the clutch back out, did some things over. I actually ordered a brand new clutch, honestly. Used a little bit of heavier spring, put it back together. I like what I feel now, so we're in good shape. So let's fire this thing up officially for everybody to hear for the first time. So let's see what we got. Not bad. I like the way that's jetted so far. Haven't made a whole lot of changes there. Mix ratio is about right, so it's a good break-in period at this point to break the bike in, break the top end in, and then maybe make a few adjustments after that. But so far so good. I've took it for a spin up and down the road a couple of times, went through all the gears, everything works. So I'm officially done. This is a great bike. Probably one of the ones that I'm probably most proud of, just because it is a replica or tribute piece to the actual rider, and it belongs to him. So it's kind of cool. They've got to do this, and the way that it just worked out this year with Hayden winning his first Supercross, and the things that's happened has just been timed exactly right. So I'm real proud of how it turned out. And now let's do a walk around video. I'd like to show you what's going on. Companies I've used, things that I did to the bike, so forth. Now, if you got a chance to see the first video of how it started, if you haven't got the chance to see that, I'd recommend going and taking a look at that video. You won't believe how it started. It's pretty rough shape, as they always are, older bikes, but we're in good shape now, so let's take a look. All right, first of all, let's do a good walk around. The sun is directly on us today, so I'm going to get some shadow, I'm sure, but we'll just have to deal with it. Bike really turned out amazing. I'm just stoked on how this thing came about. So there's a good walk around. Look like a brand new motorcycle here, as it should. So we'll start, as always, with the motor, work our way out. So many times I've done this exact same setup where once the motor's apart, I will, of course I'll rebuild the bottom end. But before I do any of that, I like to Cerakote these cases, these bottom cases, just for the sake of keeping them clean and durable and have a coating on them. I typically do not do that to the cylinder. I like to keep the cylinder raw, so I have it vapor blasted, and then I put it back on raw, just the raw metal. Now, the coating on the ignition cover and the coating on the clutch cover, don't even know the color of it, but it's just a very close gray to the original, just a little sharper in my opinion. So it really turned out great. I use State Line powder coating in Ohio for that, and he always does a great job. We've done this color a couple of times. The original 97 Ghost Ride RM125 did not have a platinum pipe on it. It had a works pipe. But guys, if you have tried to find a works pipe for this model, you would be hard pressed to find one. They're extremely rare, very hard to find. And as it turns out, I actually found a brand new platinum pipe. This thing was brand new. It was overstock at a dealership in California, and I bought it. So there you have it. The silencer, of course, pro circuit from just like we have from back in the day. Of course, got new UFO plastics. This seat cover is this yellow MXA replica seat cover was from EVO MX in the UK. The graphics, of course, I've used many times on projects. Decal Works just killed it on these graphics. Such a fantastic job. Just absolutely killed it. Let's see what else we've got here. The frame guards from 834 Moto. If you haven't checked out his page, you should. He makes some killer stuff. I've got the frame guard and, the frame guards and the skid plate. Let's get around to the other side. And the frame guard from 834 Moto on this side as well. One of the things that I have done over the last 2 or 3 builds is use the same color powder coat. Now I use a local powder coater also for my frame, bigger stuff, things such as that, because he's close by and I can actually take it to him. I don't have to ship it. But this is a silver, I think he calls it Silver Explosion, I'm not real sure, but I've also used it on the last couple of swing arms projects wise that I've done, just because I feel like it may be a good way of coating the swing arm, keeping it clean. We'll see. I don't know if I'm 100% sold on it, but I wanted to use that color on the swing arm. Well, I don't always, but many times I've used it on the hubs, and of course the foot pegs to match. The cylinder work was done by Millennium Technologies. All of my vapor blasting was done by Big Dave at Throwback MX Guy. If you haven't seen his channel or his stuff, definitely check it out. He builds some fantastic bikes. The sprockets are not Sunstar sprockets. Brian has a good working relationship with Pro Taper. And he had the clutch perch, the grips, the sprockets, all sent to me from Pro Taper. We sent the wheels to W Wheel. As I've used them many times, we went ahead and went with the Suzuki Yellow. Brian chose the Dunlop MX-34 for this bike. Great tire. Pro Taper bars. A few things are not exactly like the original bike, but you know what, it's just it's so close that hardly anybody's going to know, and maybe it just gives it the maybe more of a modern look on an old retro throwback, so the brake lines, they got lost in the mail for a very long time from Galfer. One of the things I wanted to do on this bike too, that really wasn't on the original bike, but bring out some of the red accents in the graphics. So using the red banjo bolts and the fittings on the end of the brake lines was just kind of a nice touch, I thought, if you can see down in there. And then the the handlebar clamps, also the red anodized coloring on that, and then the red oil cap for the engine case here. So just some things that I thought was kind of a neat little addition. Looks nice, stands out, and brings out that red accent in the graphics. You can see it down here as well. So I went with gosh, what else did we use here? A lot of OEM parts I was able to purchase. I typically use Rocky Mountain ATV MC on that. Brian used his suspension guy down in Cairo, Viva Suspension. He took care of the forks and the shock after I had it cleaned by Dave. Dave also did some replating for me, such as the brake tip. And then I did some cleaning with the Prime MX wheels to get those parts nice and clean again. Didn't even vapor blast the master cylinder. I used the Prime MX cleaning wheel on that one, and looks nice. Did do vapor blasting, of course, on the calipers. Rebuilt those with new parts, so those work great. Brian told me that back in '97 that the older front brakes on these Suzukis, or the front brakes on these Suzukis, on these older ones, were very spongy, and these are the same. I bled these things a bunch of times, and I've got the same feel on it. So an upgrade would probably be a different master cylinder on this, but did clean that up. New levers, of course, new boots for the throttle and the front brake, new cables, of course. And let's see here, who have I forgotten? I'm sure I've forgotten a lot of folks, and I'm sorry, but if you have any questions on any part that I might have used, or someone's service that I might have used, definitely give me a shout, and I will be glad to tell you that. I use Spec Bolt a lot for engine fasteners. They make some great kits, and I've used several different companies, but the Spec Bolt kits are pretty nice. That's about it, guys. So this is it. This bike is complete, and the project is finished. Now, let me turn the camera around and we'll talk about kind of what's next for the bike. So basically at this point, everything's ready. The bike runs. It's rideable. It's ready to go. I will take this, I'm gonna hang on to it as Supercross moves back over to the West Coast for the next couple of weeks. I'll hang on to this. I'll take it back to Nashville, and we'll display it with legends and heroes at Nashville. So if you're going to be there this year, certainly stop by, check it out, say hello. From there, I'm going to try to send it up to Philly, where Brian's wanting to do some videos on it at that point, and then eventually he'll take it home and do some videos, some riding, some things on it. So I really look forward to seeing Brian ride it. It's like brand new, so there's kind of a double-edged sword there, you know. I can't wait to see him ride it, but the other hand is like, I don't want you to mess it up either. So anyway, it's a great build. I really enjoyed it. It was in, like I said, it was in rough shape. If you hadn't seen that video, go check it out. So I really came along, and this build was pretty fast. I really hammered it out, especially over the last 2 months. Typically it takes me about 6+ months to do a build, and I do take my time, and you know, just funds and things such as that will spread that along. This bike I finished in 5 months, so it was certainly a challenge to get it done and unveiled before Daytona. Even though I had a few things missing, I could still take that black cover off and show it to Brian for the first time. So it all turned out pretty good. I'm very proud of the bike. It's a great looking bike. So if you get a chance to go to the Nashville Supercross this year, certainly stop by. Thanks again, guys, for watching. If you have any questions on anything, any service, anything that I did at all, by all means, comment down below. I'll get right back to you and let you know. So thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.